Today, we're gonna be playing Design Against the Clock. I'm your host, YKL. In this race, our two designers, Sean and Kevin, will have just 30 minutes to create an entire project based on a design brief put together by yours truly. But here's the twist. They'll be working with a single font selected from a lineup of the most notorious system fonts known to man. Curls MT, we've got Comic Sans, we've got Myriad Pro. So let's draw from the hat.
What's it gonna be?
It is Impact.
Oh my God.
All right, designers, if you'll please leave the room while I cook up your brief. Font, Impact. Impact is a condensed, very thick, very strong, has some goofy elements to it. Definitely want to throw it off with not the most straightforward brief. Maybe we go soft and serious. What's a really soft food? Bakery for someone serious. Bankers, name, bakery bank. Dough, maybe dough, dough, dough. Is there a different way to spell dough? Dough, 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 dough. Dow, oh, stock market. Okay, Dow for financiers, pronounced dough. Maybe it's doughy, doughy. I think just dough. Give me tagline, headlines, body copy, where wealth rises. That's so good. Okay, I think we're good.
All right.
Should we be worried?
Again, I have to state, I don't normally use Max, so the shortcuts are gonna be all messed up.
Max? Who uses Max?
So the project is dough. It's spelled in a way that pays back to the Dow Jones. It is a bakery for financiers. So let's see what you come up with. Timer starts now.
All right, let's go.
Boom, bada, boom, boom.
I'm gonna sit up here for a sec and just observe. Sean's typing out dough with a bunch of different fonts. Kevin is exploring the actual name spelled the right way, struggling with the keyboard a little bit. Impact is a handsome font at this angle and distance. I have to say I'm not mad at those letters. Sean's taking the AI route, trying to get ahead of the race. Give me an image of bread. Wonder what Kevin's thinking with the stock market. Oh, don't look over your shoulder, Sean. Focus on your own work.
I was curious what you were talking about.
Kevin's playing with some Bloomberg terminals.
Cannot with these shortcuts. It's actually driving me insane.
Sean's modifying the letters. Perhaps a smart move given the font limitation. That's something I'd be thinking about.
ChatGPT is confused.
Pulling some color. Okay,
Ooh,
okay. 27 and 40 seconds left. This is only the beginning, guys. All right, the good old blend tool coming from Sean. Wow, Kevin's getting nice and micro, getting in on the details early on.
That's kind of cool.
Very interesting exploration from both designers. I am curious what Kevin's up to. Maybe I shall. All right, Kevin, do you want to tell us what you're thinking for this project? I see you have big impact letters on the screen. What are you doing with those lines?
I am trying to create some custom logo type, maybe that's based on some of these candle graphs. Trying to make the Wall Street bros feel right at home. Monitoring the gains, trying to play with what it might look like for type to kind of be a mask for some of these lines.
I like that thought starter. I wonder how you're gonna bring bread and a bakery into the mix. All right, let's go over here to Sean. How are you feeling? How's your designer brain?
I'm trying to make, rising. Dough rises, stocks rise, bada boom.
I think people, both designers have some logo concepts going on. I wonder how they're gonna expand on their kit of parts for this. Wow, I wonder how long it's gonna take Kevin to play with all those lines. There's something there with the rising dough, the rising stocks. You're gonna get that bread, you're gonna get that dough. Great brief, if I may say so myself. Both designers are silent and focused and ready to seize the day. I would put myself in the place of a corporate financier in Wall Street, out for lunch, maybe looking for a sandwich. When they see the sign, this logo on the storefront, what are they gonna feel?
I think my computer is overheating a little bit.
Wow, things are getting
up.
tense. It's because you're designing so hard?
Hot in here.
Temperature is rising.
How's it going, Sean?
Really good.
Tell us how you're feeling.
My computer is hot.
Is it slowing things down for you?
Yes, I keep getting wheels. I'll just have to roll with some of these mistakes, but it might be fine.
Good luck. All right, Kevin, how are we doing?
Pretty good. Just looking for the right tonality of image. A lot of these are AI, so just trying to find something that's a little more rustic, that speaks to, you know, men a little bit more.
Are you good at telling AI apart from stock images these days?
Yes, I didn't know that Pinterest is completely overrun with AI now. Wait, how do I turn Chinese off?
Why is it in Chinese?
It's just screwing me extra.
Uh-oh. Okay, we got 19 minutes left on the clock. Is this going slower or faster than you think?
Faster, for sure.
I see. I guess I'm not the one with the mouse pad and the computer. Ooh, that's a nice rounded treatment to impact. Does soften the harsh edges. I am really curious how both designers are going to start using the actual type, you know, not just focus on the brand elements. You know, that's kind of the whole point of this game, is to like actually use the font. All right, I see Kevin's cooking up some color. Ooh. I don't know about that spacing.
What are you talking about?
Maybe it's fine. Maybe I'm just busting your balls. All right, Kevin's.
Dude, what is this? What is this?
Kevin's going artisanal. What's
What
going
the
on?
hell is that?
What is going on? He's running into some technical issues.
I'm disabled with my shortcuts.
Maybe we should give Sean a disablement too.
My computer is
Design with your left hand?
overheating.
Maybe he should cut off one of his pinkies. That bake to yield is reminding me of Baker skateboards.
Do they use impact?
Perhaps they did. All right, snooping over Sean's shoulder.
Oh yeah.
What is this? Who is he?
It's a rich guy eating bread on Wall Street.
With no name.
Just a white man. You know, I didn't say white man, I just said rich.
What do you have to say about it, Buddha? Do you like money? Bake to yield, what does that mean to you, Kevin?
Like yielding like a nice harvest, so it's like you're baking so you have like a huge plethora of things to offer your customers.
Okay, I see. High yield savings account type vibe. Sniper shots. Ooh. How are you feeling about the color, Sean?
I kind of want it to be black and white with green accent.
Kind of like a Vice Media vibe.
Yeah, because you know, Wall Street guys, they don't have time for color. All they want is money, money, money.
What's your color game, Kevin? What's the strategy here?
So my experience with Wall Street Bros is that they're kind of like fifth wave gentrification people. They wish they were cool. They wish they could hang out with the hipsters. So they actually are frequently drawn to like all of the hip and trendy cafes, restaurants, bakeries. So definitely leaning into that a little bit, like leaning into their desires versus, and like what they're drawn to, rather than trying to make it look like them.
Yeah.
Because I think they like lean on other people to be tastemakers.
Good sell.
How's hosting going for you?
It is a job. Time definitely slows down when you're not designing. I like this development with the blended shadows there.
You gotta have some kind of
I see. I feel like you're really playing into that graphic language of impact and honing in on how impact is actually meant to be looked at.
rich. Extra rich woman on Wall Street. Let's guess what her skin color will be.
Whoa.
No, it's just because I made the other guy white. I just said rich.
Would you take your friend to this bakery?
No. Is that a problem?
Well, you should love everything you design, shouldn't you? No answer.
Oh.
I assume not. Not a passionate designer.
Damn.
Oh shit, this is gonna be risky, but I gotta try. You know, sometimes when you're doing stuff to pitch, it doesn't gotta be perfect, just enough to sell it.
What's your favorite type of bread, Kevin?
Definitely a fan of sourdough.
Nice. Do you think sourdough would exist in this financier bakery?
It would. I think they
deserve a sourdough slice once in a while.
Yeah. They like eating things that are alive at one point, you know?
Because they're so brain dead and soulless.
Yeah, you said that, not me.
Sean is focused on the prize, focused on the prize. Let's see, has anything changed since we last saw this?
You know, his head is rising.
What the fuck? What is going on with that? What is that? What is that, a scarf?
No, it's
Paper towel? I like how that green is very, very unappetizing, but it means money, so it's appetizing to financiers. All right, what's going on now, Kevin? Are we still having Mac troubles?
I mean, yes, but you gotta power through it.
Nothing's gonna stop him. That's the type of designer Kevin is.
think with a font so bad and heavy connotations, you gotta really just typeset it well.
Let's give this a time check. We have 9 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock, everyone.
Jesus.
Oh my God. That is
All right. This
not good.
This just kind of crept up on everyone.
And if only we had 15 extra minutes.
Little does everyone know we had a huge blow up discussion on, actually I just won't mention anything.
Probably for the best.
How does it feel designing against the clock and in front of cameras?
Chill. I kind of feel
You're
relaxed.
chill? You're relaxed? I can tell from your face, you're very relaxed looking.
Yeah, I don't hear a baby crying. I don't
I
hear
see.
someone yelling at me to walk the dog. Shh, don't tell my wife.
She's not watching this, don't worry. Kevin, how are you feeling designing under the clock and being watched by cameras?
Nothing I can't handle. It's a little nerve-wracking.
They gave her boobs.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, raunchy.
Inappropriate.
Okay,
Nowadays.
literally it keeps switching to Chinese every 5 seconds.
I think
I'm
that's
gonna go crazy.
you problem.
If you want me to pause it, you can adjust
I
the
just have to keep
settings.
switching it back. It's fine.
7 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, what?
I would be starting to maybe put the presentation together, unless that's what they're already doing. I see we've got some 4-ups. Invest in the finest loaves.
Oh, yeah. Launch this up onto bakery.
Candle chart. Is that Mr. Trump I see there on your screen, Kevin Chow? Daring.
I was just trying to go for a vintage vibe. He just happened to be the
No,
only
he
person that...
is-
It's
he's
either
a
him
well-
or like Leonardo DiCaprio, you know? It's
Nothing
like-
wrong with Mr. Trump going to a bakery. That's an interesting box there.
Yeah.
You gonna mock it up in Illustrator?
Yeah.
Wow. See, that's how the pros do it. All right, gentlemen, we have 5 minutes left on the clock. What's running through your minds?
How am I going to make this pop? How am I gonna make the logo bigger?
That's right.
How am I going to sell?
Always be selling. All right. That's what I would be thinking about. Kevin, what are you up to this last 4 minutes or so?
I'm just trying to solidify conceptually what the idea is.
Right. High level thinking. I like that.
Come on, ChatGPT.
Kevin's going experimental. Just a little experimental. I wonder how that's going to jive with financiers who've never seen edgy design before. We are at 3 minutes and 25 seconds. All right, Sean, what are you thinking with this loaf of bread up on the screen? It looks like you're trying to
Yeah,
piece some things together.
I generated this with ChatGPT and it kind of put it strangely over the stock system. I just tried to say make a piece of bread in the stock market and it took it very literally because I realized they didn't show any bread.
Okay, Kevin, I see you have a picture of bread too.
Copier.
Is that the only piece of bread that you have?
No, there's some
There's
here.
more bread. Oh, I see. Some hipster artisanal bread. Is there an approach you're taking to photography or just kind of winging it?
I originally had the thought of like trying to create like a vintage vibe. It's just hard to find the correct photography in the time permitting.
We are close to 1 minute on the clock.
Okay, please. Oh yeah, get ready for this. Presentation is unbelievable. 30 minutes, all these mock-ups.
Oh my God, the clock's ticking. Oh my
All
God.
right,
am I
we
gonna
are at
finish?
48
Oh my
seconds,
God.
47
Oh my
seconds,
God.
45 seconds left on the clock, everyone.
Oh my God.
This might be the worst
It's not
thing
easy.
ever.
This is what it's like when you have deadlines and you're up at 5 a.m. trying to put it together for the client who's sitting on their balls. 20 seconds left, everybody. What's it gonna be? Are you gonna have your presentations? Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. And we are out of time. That is all for Design Against the Clock. Stop designing, it's over.
I'm just organizing my
We'll come back to you later.
Oh no, I can talk, it's ready.
No. We'll have each of our designers come up to present their ideas now. Sean, time is up. Don't play around. We're cheating.
I mean, I don't know. All right, I'll present to you the best brand system. So, Dough is, as we all know, a bakery for financial Wall Street bros. I wanted to lean into the Wall Street bets side of things, kind of combining the memeability of impact, which was our restraint for this presentation, as well as the fun and humor and a little bit of insider joking that goes around in that circle. So looking at the logo, we decided to craft a little bit of a custom rounded version of impact. Feels a little bit more ownable. Upward momentum, 3D effect. Stock market charts always go from bottom of the left to top of the right. For the mark, we were looking at the idea of the steam coming out of bread, but then turning them into these green candlesticks with the candlestick port going above and below the steam to create this, return on investment. So looking at the system, all caps, very hyper aggressive, very bold color choice, not even trying to be appetizing. I think it's more about trying to feel like a cult and like an insider group. Looking at rich stockbrokers eating bread, and then again having this moment of brandability where we have everything kind of being superhero, drop shadow, movement, dynamic, exciting. For posters, we wanted to have something where you could easily brand any image, so putting the steam rising out of the bread, as well as creating a frame for content that also pulls identity from the logo to have some cohesion, as well as just simple background system to easily create simple typographic moments or branded photo moments. As well as for the box, you could sometimes simplify it to just the 3 candlesticks when you want to have that more premium feel. Experimented as well with some memeable design choices where, the design is not necessarily good typographically, but it speaks to that sensibility of memeing. Big ass bread in the middle, the steam coming out.
Kind of reminds me of Cat Wants Cheeseburgers vibes.
And we know it always helps to see it in context. So this woman enjoying the bread, looking at all the poor people out on the street who can't afford dough. You could see it in her eyes, the disdain. And then, for those really exciting moments where you have maybe an event, you want to have the ability to create this dimensional composition.
Stacking like money.
Yeah, stacking like your bills in the bank. And that's pretty much it.
I think you landed on that graphic language really early on in the process, and I think it just had a lot of legs, like the shadowing, the bold type, the outlines, and especially the color just is such a great color to use because it just pops so well on anything you put it on. Yeah, this is a very successful use of impact. You've done the project really well. I think the only thing that got lost on me was the logo mark. To me, I only see the rising steam of the bread, but it's harder to see the candle. I'm not sure about the meme poster, but take it or leave it.
Yeah, I think it's impressive how many applications you're able to get done.
Yeah.
I do think that it's interesting that you went here tonally, because it's where we went is complete opposite directions. It does feel a little more cartoony and goofy to me, but in a way that's very resolved and speaks well to impact as a font.
I also want to add that I think you made a really great tie-in to things like the New York Post and Vice magazine.
Yeah, that's true.
It really reminds me of New York.
Thanks, guys.
Nice job.
Nice job. Tell us about your project, Kevin.
All right, so I went a little bit conceptually in a different direction where I wanted to take impact and somehow create something custom that would almost take away from this kind of negative or cheap connotation of impact. Obviously, we know it's been used in memes since the beginning of time. I would have loved to craft this a little bit better, but similarly, this is kind of more some subliminal, if you know, you know. Also based off of kind of the candle charts, breaking apart the word to almost break the silhouette of impact so it doesn't have that same connotation. Zooming out, just definitely wanting to go for more of an artisanal color palette, something you would see from a more high-end bakery. I think that was an interesting challenge for me where I was okay, impact looks so cheap.
Yes.
How do I lean into it and somehow make it
Yeah.
look expensive? So that's kind of where my mind went.
I will say, when I looked at this, I wouldn't think that that was impact the way you've treated the color there.
Yeah,
It's very,
yeah.
very high end looking.
I didn't have time to kern it perfectly, but it kind of went in a little bit. I was definitely focusing on craft. Also, this is, you know, wanting to make it bold and impactful, but like pairing it back with the color.
Yes.
But you'll see throughout the system, everything tends to like fill up space as much as possible to kind of like communicate the machismo, like the kind of attitude of Wall Street. I had the thought of like kind of experimenting a little bit with like vintage photography. Like you'll see the image of Trump holding his millions of dollars, probably stolen. One thing I know about like Wall Street culture that's like separate from Wall Street Bets culture. I think Wall Street Bets is almost like people interested in Wall Street that aren't in Wall Street actually. Finance bros in New York they move into like Williamsburg, they move like living in like the Lower East Side. They're trying to be a part of like that fancy, like edgy hipster culture, even though they're not like necessarily like one-to-one with that community, but they like cosplay like that. Trying to create not like something that looks like them, but something that they aspire to be is where this kind of headed. Experimenting with that same kind of type treatment, creating this like tactile, like textural feel kind of pairs well with like, you know, the hands like actually holding the bread. Like then moving on, just some like examples of takeaway packaging. I think like the use of craft paper goes in line really well with the color palette, and then just like having like white silk screen on top of that feels more precious. And then just moving on, just a quick like really contextualizing like an ad you might see on the floor, trading floor. If I remove this, like it's literally just like one-to-one, like you might be looking at the charts really intensely and then all of a sudden you're hit with an ad.
And then you're reminded of bread and you get hungry and you want to go to the store.
Yeah. So, you know, all in all, I think it's like a little less direct, but I think that was the intention. Just make it a little bit more aspirational, make it clearly a place where people with money go to.
I love the mix of the very technological, financy treatment to the type of the logo with the artisanal, like softer color palette, the photography feeling like, you know, hipster Williamsburg vibes. It's a mix that you don't really see out there, and I think it's really interesting and recognizable. I think it's a very bold choice the way you've treated the logo, because it almost looks like it's cracking, or it's harder to read, definitely, but I think I like the idea.
But it speaks to like the artisan, like you never know how a piece of bread is gonna be baked like in the end when you pull it out of the oven. It's like cracked in like all unexpected ways.
Nice save. It's organic. It's like sourdough.
If the time was allotted to this, the logo would be animated. It would be like the charts like moving up and down. Like
I like the idea of like the variability that you can have with the system. All your headlines are going to be like, you know, slightly different. There's no like single way to treat one letter.
For the logo, I think adding in the wicks would help connect it a little bit more to financial chart. It almost looks like just degradation, but I think it is like visually nice. I just don't know if the connection is there to like a chart.
Yeah, no, I can see that. It's definitely not obvious. I think you were saying like the thin lines kind of filled out the letter form.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like if someone tells you, you like won't forget it, but you won't. It's not an instant read for sure.
Good.
Okay. So after a lot of thinking and, you know, hearing your presentations, which really sold me in on both ideas, I think both of you did a phenomenal job for 30 minutes. But there can only be one winner at the end of the day. I will have to give the winning spot to Sean. Yeah, you guys did.
Good game.
You guys both did so well. I just think Sean had a more immediately recognizable brand in the time that we had. Like he came up with something really quick. I think yours, Kevin's, had a lot of potential. Really smart idea. I think you might have been held back by the Mac OS shortcuts that you're not used to.
No, I won't lean on that. I do think it's like I picked an idea that like involved a little bit too much or more craft than I expected.
Yeah.
So that was a misstep in considering the overall picture of the challenge.
The 30 minutes that you had.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But
I feel like you leaned into the spirit of impact, which I think also probably like speaks to the challenge as well, where it's like what does this font mean, and how do I like bring it out, like bring the most out of it? Whereas like I was almost trying to like cover it up.
But which is kind of cool to see, like how the tones of these are so different, but the brief was the same and the type was the same. I feel like that's kind of the point of this, to see how you could take it in such a different way. As long as you commit and you make these decisions, and then it really reflects the vibe and the tone.
Yeah, definitely.
I might have been a little bit off, I would say, looking back on my approach. Like when you're saying memes, the Wall Street bets maybe isn't Wall Street. Unless it's like psyoping them.
I'm also saying that to convince the client.
No, but it's true. It's true though. It's like ex Wall Street people who went and worked from home, and now they try to manipulate the stock. It was fun. This was actually pretty fun.
Thank you. Join our Discord. If you'd like to see the live files, I think that's something we've been tossing around the idea.
Right.
Like we could like upload the Illustrator files from the video to our Discord for you guys to download and poke around with. Cool.
Until next week.
Bye bye.
Bing bong.